And lo and behold, Axios picks it up. They got really good writers over there, particularly following religion. Maybe not that they're particularly religious, but they follow it very closely. They basically say, and if we can get the article up, empathy is the new battleground for Christianity, and particularly on the political side, ma'am.
Ask in the glow for a minute of Dave Bratt putting me with the young people as a mom of a teenager. I really love that. I'm so glad I came today.
I noticed that, Brett.
But yes, so, we talked about it because this has really been the steering mechanism to try to move evangelicals toward the left. We talked about last time that they are kind of the most important voting bloc to Republicans. The GOP doesn't win without them. So you've seen Democrats for a long time trying to find a way into the evangelical landscape, and empathy has been a key way that they've done that. And, the difference between empathy and compassion is really important because empathy demands that we don't ask questions, that we don't look at issues of justice in these truth claims, that we don't even look at the truth of these truth claims. And you can look at how the BLM movement, for example, said, you're not allowed to ask questions. You're just supposed to sit and let us express ourselves and feel our pain. So you weren't allowed to ask questions like, okay, well, did George Floyd actually die because someone choked him, or did he die of an overdose? So those questions aren't allowed. That's the empathy steering mechanism. It's a steering wheel on your back, as my friend, the writer Joe Rigney, has said. So now we are starting to see the right and Christian conservatives catching on to this. And so you have seen books like The Sin of Empathy or Allie Beth Stuckey's Toxic Empathy saying, no, this is actually sinful, because what it's asking you to do is to identify with false or immoral feelings, like, say, the transgender movement. So that's what it's asking you to do. And, just in this last week, we saw an appalling example of this. So we talked also last time about the National Association of Evangelicals. It's the largest association of evangelical churches in the world. Their immigration arm is World Relief. They have taken something like $330 million from the federal government since 2021 to resettle, quote unquote, refugees. In 2021, they took $56 million to resettle refugees, including those from Afghanistan, including the shooter of those two National Guards people. So the day before that shooting, President Trump announced that there would be additional vetting. So he announced a while ago there would be additional vetting of the Afghani refugees. The day before that, World Relief issued a statement condemning that decision. And in fact, their VP, Matthew Sorens, who is heavily active in evangelical churches, you will see him often on the weekends giving presentations. They send materials out to churches saying you must welcome the stranger. He called it a needless re-traumatizing of the Afghani refugees. The very next day, the Afghan terrorist killed two National Guardsmen. So that's how this empathy debate is working within the church.
So they pulled some verticals, the whole gay rights thing, LGBTQ plus. They've got climate change, BLM, and immigration. Are they saying that Christians are not empathetic enough, have to be more empathetic, and in getting people to be more empathetic, not compassionate, to drive them, as you said before, to kind of this woke or progressive evangelical Christianity?
Yeah, that's exactly what it is. And keep in mind, though, that they set the terms for who you're supposed to feel empathetic toward. So you're supposed to feel empathetic toward the man who claims he's a woman who wants access to women's private spaces, but you are not supposed to feel empathetic to the women who feel threatened by this. You're supposed to feel empathetic for the BLM activists who are insisting that hands up, don't shoot happened, but you're not supposed to feel empathetic for the police officer who has now had his reputation destroyed over a lie. And you see this again and again. You're supposed to feel empathetic for the illegal immigrants who have come here, who are bringing trafficking issues, who are bringing crime and drug issues, but you're not supposed to feel empathetic for the communities that are being impacted by this, or for the guardsmen who have been killed because we did not sufficiently vet these immigrants as they were coming here. So they're really directing you to say, here's who you are supposed to feel empathetic for. And you're not supposed to ask simple questions of justice or truth when you do it. And, it's so Marxian because that was Marx, right? He supposedly felt this empathy for all of mankind, but he didn't even take care of his own family.
Dave Bratt, your